Okay, so you're probably wondering why I'm coming to you blindfolded in this video. Well, it's to test the idea that without the use of sight, you can distinguish between a white and a red wine. So we actually have a medium-bodied white wine, a Chardonnay, and a light to medium-bodied red wine, Pinot Noir. And our friend Tom, who is the man behind the camera, will place them in front of my fingers here in some random order. And it's my job to taste and to see if I can tell the difference between a white and a red wine. Okay. Thanks, Tom. Good. So let's start with my left hand then. Notice I'm holding the wine glass by the stem. And if my spatial awareness is good enough, let's see if I can put it in my mouth. Okay, and now for the wine in my right hand. Okay, so in my humble opinion, this is the white wine in my left hand, and this is the red wine in my right hand. I hope that's right, Tom. Am I right?
Yep, you're right.
Thanks, Tom. So, why are we doing this? Well, maybe I can take the blindfold off now. Because you might be surprised that actually, served in black glasses or blindfolded, we often can't tell the difference between a white and a red wine. And one of the reasons for that is that sight is such an important part of the whole wine tasting experience, and that without sight, we really have to focus on things like texture. I mean, the way I told these two apart, because surprisingly the aromas are relatively similar in that they're kind of mid-ripeness aromas, is the texture, the drying sensation of the tannins in the red wine. And there was a very interesting study done at Bordeaux University, and it talked about the color of aromas, let's say. Imagine that 54 wine experts were congregated together to do this blind tasting. Now, the researchers asked a simple question. There was a white wine and a red wine, and the 54 experts had to describe each wine. Now, what the tasters didn't know was that the red wine was actually the same as the white wine. It was actually the white wine, just with red food dye that was tasteless added to create the different color. And what happened was these experts described the white wine as being, apricots, peaches, white flowers, all of these typical light colors, while the red wine was cherries and plums and forest fruits and berries and so on. So all the fruits we typically identify as a kind of red or darker colored type of fruit. So it's amazing to think that even though the wines should taste the same, because of our sense of sight, we describe them in completely different ways. So just something to keep in mind. We don't always need to describe white wines using the typical lighter colored fruits such as peaches, apricots, apples and pears, while red wines have, the berries and the forest fruits and the plums and cherries and so on. And a couple of noteworthy exceptions are with Sauvignon Blanc. So part of Sauvignon Blanc is having a very classic blackcurrant aroma. So we think of Sauvignon Blanc more in the kind of lighter fruits, I suppose, and definitely herbal, but often blackcurrant is a strong component of most Sauvignon Blancs. And for red wines, for example, mint is often seen in the cooler climate Merlots and Cabernets. Now, mint as a herb is perhaps something we're more likely to associate with a white wine. So just to keep in mind that we can be a little bit flexible in the way we describe the aromas, and so we don't have to be fixated on the color of the wine.